Howdy there, and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We now have issue 101 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. As we are now entering the last 40 parts of our Titanic build. We will finish this year. We're aiming to finish the end of October, very early November. So it's getting close to the end now. You can see her just over there. Now, thankfully, for this middle-aged man's bad back, I don't have to lift the ship up for any of the next at least 6 that we're doing. But in this one in particular, we are starting work on the stand. Now, there's been a bit of, I don't know how this stand's going to look. From what I've seen so far, it looks quite nice. We do get the single individual largest piece we've been sent to date in this pack this month. We'll come to that. That's issue 103, I believe. It's huge. What we're doing is we're building the stands. Now, all the electrics for the ship are going to go into the stand. That's what's going to happen. So the speaker, the circuit board, the battery box, it appears, live in the stand. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this goes. Now, again, we've got the battery box as well, so it's going to be 104. And it would appear that we can both battery power it and USB power it. So you can switch between the two. You can switch between battery powered, or you can switch over and power it by USB. That's a beautiful thing. Because it means that you can, in theory, you could mains power this, or you could have a battery pack or whatever it is powering it. That's what it appears. Don't quote me on that, but it appears you can switch between the two. So surprisingly, 6 AAAs. I was expecting much higher battery power for this one, but unless there's a second battery box, this is 6 AAAs, which is, I find, remarkable, but that's what they're saying. But without further ado, we're going to get this one open. We're going to get this one built. At the end of this one, we'll have our Titanic talk as normal, and we were talking about the anchor, Titanic's anchor, where it was built, where you can see one today, and how it got to where it was going to get to, because that is quite a story. But without further ado, let's get this one open. Let's get this one built. Okay, so let's have a look what comes inside 101. So we have our wire here that appears to be a headphone jack or speaker jack. We have, what's inside this one here? Oh, no idea. What is this? That appears to be a cover for the stand. We have some screws over here, and then we have the piece we're going to be working on itself. So this is what is going to hold our ship. How effectively? Don't know, but we're going to find out. Right, let's get into it. Okay, it's taking our stand here. This is our support. We're going to take our wire. This is the one with the headphone jack. Making sure it goes in the right way around, which is that way. We are going to slot it into here like so. Now it should sit flush in there. I need to make sure we get this in right. There we go. And it does. Okay, so that's how it will look. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to feed the wire through the bottom. So there should be a hole in the bottom that we are going to feed through. There is. Good. So we're going to feed through there. Pull all of this straight through. There we go. So pull that through. And now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our adjoining piece and we're going to clip it together. Okay, so it's this piece here. I'm literally going to lie this one over here and pop that one down. Now we want to sandwich in. There we go. Our port at the top, so that's how we're looking. And then we're going to hold this one in place with 4 AP screws. Now, there's no metal here, so you don't need to use a 3-in-1. They should just go in quite nicely. But, I mean, this feels solid. So for those of you who have been concerned that is that stand actually going to hold the Titanic, this feels solid. And with weight dispersal, I don't think we've got that much of a concern. I can't see, from what I'm feeling, I can't see it bending or bowing or buckling. I just can't. And having felt the base, there really is no concern about the base at all. The base is ridiculous, but you'll see that very soon. But I mean, I don't know if I like the electrics being in this or not, because I mean, I think you are now, it's got to be on this stand, whether you like it or not, because that's what your electrics are. However, I was speaking to a good friend of mine, and friend of the channel, Mark Hendy, about modifying stands. Because I quite like the idea of having like a nice wooden stand. I like the idea of having a nice kind of varnished like mahogany or oak stand for the Titanic, something a bit more grander than just sort of a black stand. And we were sort of spitballing ideas that I don't think it'd be impossible to take these electrics and put them into a kind of a machined wooden stand. But you can find out all about that over on the Facebook group. We've got a Facebook group purely for modifications to this Titanic model. I'll put the link below, but we'll talk about that a bit more at the end. So that, believe it or not, is all of the work for this one complete. That is it. That's all we're doing. So that's what we have, and that's where we are. So that's how you'll be looking. So short and sweet, nice and simple. Let's have a chat. So that's that one done, nice and simple. That's how we're looking. Now, all of this is going to go into the base. All of this hides into the base, so you won't see these. And then naturally our Titanic's going to sit on top of here, and these are going to clip into whatever it's clipping into. But it's looking all right. I mean, again, this is solid. I don't have concerns about this. I don't now. Those concerns are somewhat alleviated. As I said, myself and Mark were having a chat about, what could you do for the stand? Because if the electrics are in this, you're stuck with this one. It doesn't give you the choice of changing it. That's not entirely true, because what you can do is, I'm no doubt with, if you machine it and once you know where the electrics go, you could very easily make your own wooden stand and pop these, well, I say easily, you could make a wooden stand and you could put these electrics in there like they were before. You just got to have the channels to do it. Now, if you want advice on how to do things like that, there is a Facebook group specifically for modifying this model. That's all it's there for. It's there. This is how I modified it and this is what I'm doing. And it's very kind of firm on, you don't just say, this is what I did. We want to know how you did it. We want to know where you got the stuff from. So it's a very good resource for any kind of modifications you want. And as we are nearing the end of Titanic now, modification, look into what you want to modify, is probably where the best place for you to be, really. I would never ever advise modifying anything to the extent where you haven't finished it. So there's been this very eager rush to smack holes in the hull. I'd wait until you've actually put the thing together and be like, right, okay, now I know where I can drill holes without causing problems. Do what you want. I'm not, like I said, I'm not putting holes in this one because I believe that the light that comes off it is sufficient. I think light kills a model. I think a lot of the times everybody wants more light, and then they do it and then go, Jesus Christ, and they basically made a desk lamp. So I'm happy because, again, as I said, not all the portals have been lit up at the same time. Like, you'll never go past a skyscraper and every single window is lit. It doesn't happen. Same thing with this. But there is a link down below. So if you'd like to just join that Facebook group, there is a link down below. And it will give you a wealth of resource on how to modify your Titanic, what you can do, what other people are doing, what not to do, and where you can get certain little bits and pieces, photo etch pieces and things like that. But yeah, all down below. Click on that, jump on over, join the gang. That's all for the build instructions for this one. But we are having our Titanic talk, and we are talking about this. So that is Titanic's main anchor, and it was made by Hingley & Sons in Netherton. And at the time, it was the largest anchor the world had ever seen, weighing in at 16 tons. I mean, this thing is huge. It's 18 feet long. It weighed 16 tons, which is needed for a ship the size of the Titanic. However, that's not without its logistical problems, because you've made the anchor, now you've got to get to Belfast. But for those of you overseas, Netherton is landlocked. It's in the West Midlands. So it's not on a coast or anything like that. So you can't immediately go onto a vessel. It's smack in the centre of kind of the west of England. So it's a problem. So it needed to go to Dudley to get it onto a train. Now, Netherton to Dudley, again, it's not that far a journey, but this is 1911. So it's not like we had humongous heavy goods vehicles and cranes you just winch this thing onto and off we go. It was never going to work. So how were they going to transport this thing? Well, it needs to get to the train station. From the train station, it was going to go to the port. From the port, it was going to be shipped out to Belfast. How'd you get it there? Well, believe it or not, horses. So they were going to use horses to transport the anchor. And this was quite the event. So because this was the largest anchor in the world, and this was a big pride for the people of Netherton, and also of Dudley, this was a spectacle. This grabbed media attention. And what they were going to do is they're going to use 20 Shire horses. Each Shire horse was capable of pulling 2 tons. They were going to get 20 Shire horses, and they were going to drag the anchor on a cart through the streets of Netherton to Dudley. To do this, they had to cease market trading so all the stalls could be removed. And they went over all kinds of terrain. They went uphill, downhill, they went over cobble streets, smooth streets, gravel, you name it, they went over it to get this anchor where it was going. But because of the media attention that was involved in it, it's actually one of the best documented photo-wise events surrounding the Titanic. There are a lot of photos of this happening, which is a rarity. With regard to anything Titanic, getting reliable photos is bloody difficult, but this was very well documented. And here are the pictures of the horses being loaded up when they were still in Netherton and on their journey onto Dudley. But it's remarkable, but this is what happened. Stunning, right? But that's what they did. So they walked the anchor through the streets. Now, Netherton are very proud of this. And for the longest time, there was, in the Black Country Museum, there was a replica of the anchor, which has now moved to the town of Netherton. So if you are in the UK and you want to see for yourself what Titanic's anchor looked like, well, you can see it, not the original, but you can certainly see the replica of the one that was made. And it is on display in Netherton, and you can go and visit it. You can go and see it. And this is it. So it's there. It's free to see. There's no admission charge or anything like that. It's on display. You can go and see it. You can have your photo taken next to it. You can see the anchor, and I think that's a lovely thing. That it's remembered. It's remembered fondly. It was a big deal for the people of Netherton. This was a really big deal. The world's attention was on. This is the world's largest anchor, and it gave people an idea of just what a Titanic was going to be. I mean, this is grandeur beyond grandeur. Remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And it throws back, there are similar images to when they transported the Statue of Liberty through France. There's some very unusual images that you never see that statue in anything other than where it currently is. But there's some very unusual images where they moved it through France, and you can see her face and whatnot as she went past windows. This was a similar thing. So the media lapped this up, they really did. And thankfully, we've now got it very well documented, and we can see 20 Shire horses pulled the Titanic's anchor. Absolutely remarkable. That's all for this one. We will be back very, very soon with issue 102. We'll be continuing the stand supports. If you'd like to contact us, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. But until then, the world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I'll see you very, very soon for issue 102. Goodbye and take care.